Today we're going to talk about starting off with a product and why you shouldn't really do it. So your software, you yourself may think that this is absolutely amazing and it does everything your customer wants. But you are here, your customer is over here, and there's a bit of a gap between them, and you've got to marry that gap. And simply by guessing the gap means you may get it right, but more than likely you've probably got it a bit wrong on the process. Especially as well, this is something when designing a software especially that's more important, is to talk to the customer and the user. Because these are the people who actually have to put up with the product. And you know quite often that, especially yourself, you probably have software that makes you feel like this. This is not a good thing for your customer, because especially if you're running a monthly model, if your customers are like this, they're not going to pay for it again and again and again. So instead, you need to make sure that you involve them and make sure the software is designed specifically for them. This includes all the decisions such as going based on a problem. So really, you want to replace that with a problem. What problem does the user have? Is it that they're a landlord and they have trouble managing all the different houses they've got together? You know, talk to the customer and decide, is this a problem that you need solving? Is this a problem that you'd want to pay 20, 30, 40 pounds a month for to solve? Once you've done that, this isn't going to go away, especially in software. That is not going to happen. Instead, you've got to involve the customer at all stages. So involve them with deciding what product you're going to build. Once you've decided that, that's only bridging you part of the way. You really need to speak to the customer at all the points in their journey. So during design, once you've designed your product, you're only part of the way there. You've then got to test the prototypes and so forth. This is something especially that the government themselves have noticed when This is something the government themselves have noticed when they've been doing the GovUK stuff. So if you remember the Orange site that was kind of a bit confusing to use and was built by contractors who never actually spoke to the end user, which was you. And what happened was the government took over and started talking to these people and are now building systems that bridge this gap based on a problem. One of the successful ones I've personally used is updating your name on the electoral record. Initially when I did this, before the service had launched, I was like this because I went through the form online and then it just told me print this off and post it and wait to see what happens. And I'm a busy person and I did not have the time to go find a stamp and print it off and all the rest of it. It's too much effort. And that was because they started with a product, and the product was that they needed to create something that printed a form off. When the GovUK decided to do it, they started with a problem. The problem was they needed a way to increase the number of people on the electoral record and to improve how it was done. So they looked at some of the problems, such as the online version people weren't using because it just wasn't actually doing a lot for them. So they went through the law process and they actually changed the law to make the customer, which is us as citizens, happy. And now the process makes me happy because all I've got to do is have my national insurance number and a couple of the details and just confirm where I moved from and where I moved to. And that's it. It's just done for me. And that's the whole point, is they took a problem, they built a product, which is the online service, that solves everything and keeps people happy. This is the main thing, is just involve people at every stage when building software. Whether this is starting your company, and you never know, it might even end up being software isn't even the problem. It may be a consultancy, it might not even be something that you even want to build at that point, which is fine. At that point, there's plenty of the problems in the sea to be fixed.